Imagine standing in a courtroom, facing a powerful judge who laughs at you. Sounds intimidating, right? Well, Jasmine Crockett didn't back down. She shut Judge John Roberts down with a powerful argument that left everyone speechless. Stay tuned to see how she turned mockery into a victory. The courtroom was a pressure cooker, every eye fixed on the proceedings, and every ear tuned into the gravity of the case at hand. The atmosphere crackled with anticipation, and you could almost hear the collective breath of the room being held. The audience could feel the intensity rising, the weight of justice hanging in the balance. Lawyers, witnesses, and spectators alike were on edge, fully aware of the stakes. As the case unfolded, one thing was clear. Jasmine Crockett, a young but formidable attorney, was in the zone. Her words were sharp, her delivery unshakable, and her argument was compelling. She was a force to be reckoned with, delivering her case with the kind of passion that demanded attention. Then, unexpectedly, Judge John Roberts, a towering figure known for his calm and professional demeanor, did something none of them anticipated. He laughed. It wasn't a chuckle of amusement, nor was it a sign of support. No, this laugh was dismissive, almost as if he found her argument laughable. The sound of it echoed in the otherwise silent courtroom, freezing everyone in their tracks. There was an almost palpable pause as the room collectively held its breath, unsure of how to react. Was the judge merely breaking the tension with a laugh, or was he belittling the young lawyer's argument? The tension was now razor-thin, with all eyes fixed on Jasmine, waiting to see how she would handle this moment of mockery. The tension in the courtroom was suffocating, as all eyes remained fixed on Jasmine. Her calm demeanor in the face of such a jarring moment was nothing short of impressive. Her unwavering confidence spoke volumes, as if she were telling the room that this was just another obstacle to overcome in her pursuit of justice. Jasmine didn't let Judge Roberts' laugh shake her resolve. Instead, she took a brief, composed moment to gather her thoughts, mentally preparing herself to take control of the situation. This was more than just an argument. It was her chance to show that no one, especially not a judge, could dismiss her or her case so easily. Her voice, steady and authoritative, cut through the silence. "Your Honor," she began, her gaze unwavering as she addressed Judge Roberts, who still sat with a faint smirk on his face. "I understand that you might find this argument amusing, but I assure you, the issue at hand is no laughing matter." The weight of her words hung in the air, and she made sure every syllable was delivered with intention, each word a sharp reminder that the case wasn't something to be trivialized. The room held its collective breath, waiting to see how Judge Roberts would respond. Would he dismiss her remarks with a wave of his hand, as if to maintain his authority? Or would he recognize the seriousness of her words? All eyes were on the judge, but it was clear that Jasmine had already made her point. This wasn't just a legal battle. It was a battle for respect and justice. Jasmine's confidence only grew as she continued, her composure unwavering in the face of the judge's earlier mockery. She was no longer just responding to an individual in the courtroom. She was addressing a larger cause, a higher principle. Every word she spoke carried the weight of truth, not only for her case, but for the people whose lives were at stake. She wasn't merely arguing the technicalities of the law. She was highlighting the real-world consequences of the decision that would be made here today. Her argument was powerful and poignant, touching on the human side of the law. Jasmine spoke passionately about the families, the communities, and the individuals whose lives would be irrevocably changed by the outcome of the trial. She reminded the court that laws were not mere abstractions. They were tools meant to protect people, to ensure fairness, and to uphold justice. This case, she emphasized, is not just about legal jargon or technicalities. It's about ensuring that justice is served, that we honor the principles this system was built upon. With each sentence, her voice grew stronger, more commanding. She wasn't just asking for a legal victory. She was demanding a victory for what was morally right. As Jasmine spoke, it became evident that her presence in the courtroom was more than just that of a lawyer. She was a passionate advocate, determined to ensure that justice prevailed. Judge Roberts, who had initially laughed, sat silently, visibly moved by the depth and strength of her argument. The tide had turned. Jasmine had not only gained his respect, but had also made her mark on the courtroom. Jasmine's argument had not only silenced Judge Roberts, but it had shifted the entire dynamic of the courtroom. What started as a moment of mockery had now turned into a profound realization. The judge, once dismissive, was now fully engaged, his eyes fixed on Jasmine as she spoke with unwavering conviction. The room, which had once been filled with an air of uncertainty, was now enveloped in a deep, respectful silence. Everyone in the courtroom understood that Jasmine had commanded the space, not through forceful words, but through the sheer strength of her argument. Judge Roberts, who had initially laughed at her, now sat back in his chair, his posture no longer one of authority over the proceedings, but of contemplation. The smirk that had once been on his face disappeared, replaced by a look of deep thought. He realized that Jasmine hadn't merely presented a legal point. She had exposed the deeper truths about the case, the human lives impacted, and the broader implications of the decision to be made. Her words had struck a chord with him, compelling him to reflect more deeply on the matter at hand. As the room watched in awe, Jasmine stood tall, the weight of her victory sinking in. She hadn't just won the argument. She had forced the judge and the entire courtroom to reconsider their stance. She had shut down the mockery with a quiet, yet powerful force. Jasmine had taken the high ground, and in doing so, she had redefined the rules of the game, not with anger, but with the unshakable force of truth. As the case proceeded, it was evident that Jasmine had not only silenced the judge, but she had earned the respect of everyone in the courtroom. What started as a moment of mockery had evolved into a defining moment, a moment that would resonate long after the case had ended. Even Judge Roberts, who had once laughed at her, was now nodding thoughtfully as she continued to present her argument. The transformation in the courtroom dynamic was palpable. No longer was there an air of uncertainty. Instead, there was an overwhelming sense of admiration for the young attorney who had turned the tide with grace and intellect. Jasmine's ability to maintain her composure and stand firm in the face of what could have been a humiliating experience was nothing short of remarkable. She had refused to be intimidated, refused to back down, and in doing so, she had proven that strength didn't have to come from aggression. It came from belief in one's argument and the courage to stand up for what was right. Her response to the judge's laughter wasn't just a victory in the legal sense. It was a victory for professionalism, respect, and the integrity of the legal system itself. By the time the proceedings came to an end, it was clear that the judge's initial laughter had been nothing more than a mistake, a misstep that would be forgotten in the shadow of Jasmine's powerful performance. Jasmine had not only won the case with her argument, she had shown the world the power of standing tall in the face of adversity. Through this moment, she had proven that true victory comes not from defeating others, but from unwavering commitment to one's values. Thanks for watching this powerful courtroom showdown. If you loved how Jasmine Crockett shut down Judge John Roberts with her unmatched argument, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button to stay updated with more incredible stories, inspiring moments, and jaw-dropping confrontations. Join the community and let's keep the conversation going. See you in the next video.